Good afternoon. I'm Kala Sridhar, reporting from the Optimus studio at Hyderabad Rotary International President's Conference. Today, we are having with us Mr. Sunil Joseph, and we are very pleased to have you here, Mr. Sunil. We are just going to ask you a few questions. So, I begin with I wanted to know can you say what is your passion?
Sure. Thanks, Kala. Thanks for this opportunity. Uh, since I've been in college, I have worked with young people, and I have always had a deep interest in helping people come up in terms of their competencies. And so this is what I've been doing over the years. And while I joined TCS in business, had this opportunity to work in the social side of it, and therefore I'm able to realize what I have as a passion by what I am doing.
You have heard about Rotary
Oh yes,
and our
yes,
projects.
yes. In fact, we have had a number of years ago, close to 8 to 9 years ago, the first contact with Rotary Pune, and who have done the literacy program that we had deployed. And ever since that, there have been multiple discussions at various locations in Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay. I'm very familiar with what Rotary does, and many in my team, though me not personally, but many in my team are also active in Rotary at different parts of the country. So,
Yeah, Sunil. So now at TCS, tell me who has been the your mentor, where you are today, who has played the roles, who are the people who have influenced you to where you are today.
I would not place it on one person, but there have been a series of people at different stages of my corporate life. When I first joined, there is this senior when I joined in Bangalore who told me, you go and do whatever you want. If it goes wrong, you put it on me. And I had people like that backing me. I did a number of roles in TCS. In every one of those roles, I had such who really gave their back. I never had to go back to him to take that solace of making a mistake and putting it on him, but that gave me tremendous confidence that I can do what I want to do, and there are people here. So it's not one, but a set of people.
Thank you. Yeah, Sunil, I wanted to ask, why is CSR mandatory only in India? Why is it not? Have we have not heard about all these things abroad or in any other country? No,
Even in India, it is not been there for many years. In the last few years, the company's law has made it mandatory. Making things mandatory has its own pros and cons of it. Right? I think to start with, as a foundation, it's good to have a direction as to how a corporate can be a good citizen too. And those of us who believe in compassionate capitalism always believe, like I said in my address, our founder Jayant Tata said, community is not just another stakeholder in business. In fact, it is the very purpose of its existence. So, community becomes core and central to a number of organizations. In fact, I had stints in Europe too as part of my TCS job. And I have met phenomenal organizations in Germany, in Italy, in Belgium, Denmark, without a law being there doing phenomenal work. So, in fact, we learn from them continuously. So, I think it is not the mandatoriness of it, but it is how corporate world, corporate India picks up this sense of ownership of the community that they are proximus to.
Thank you, Sunil. One more question. We see that there are huge amounts which are lying unspent, unutilized in the CSR funds of many corporates. So, what could be the reason? Not finding the proper cause to which the organization is associated, or is it something else?
I think when we devise a CSR strategy for the company, there are a couple of factors which come into play, right? For example, if you are a banking company, then you would like to stay close to what you are at the core, because giving what you are good at is the best giving. Because when you bring, we talk about four capitals. We have the intellectual capital, the technology capital, the human capital, and financial capital. Many times we think CSR is only money, but then it is only one of the four C's according to how we in TCS define CSR. So the other three capitals, intellectual capital for example, that whole network of what you are as an organization. Number two, human capital. We are close to 6 lakhs employees and what they bring to the table. And then the technology capital. You need not be a technology company alone to have to deliver technology capital, but domain competence, like the banking example that I gave. So that is point one. So that's how we all devise our strategies. Point two is, if you look at TCS, we are all in the business districts of the cities of India. Now, how do I go do something in, for example, tea gardens of Assam or Bundelkhand in MP? How do I do this? It has to be through partners on the ground. And it requires a partner ecosystem for corporates to work with. And it both need to take that step towards each other. And so, in taking that step, I think there are gaps, and that is where I feel you don't see the synergy eventually.
It's
But that's how I would articulate.
Yeah, there is one more point that we have noticed is what is happening is in corporates, yes, they just issue the check. This is to the fund. They don't actually go and see what is happening. Just I have finished my target. That's it.
Right. I think purpose, the concept of purpose, is coming so core, is becoming so core to companies nowadays. And so, for example, if you look at the mission statement of TCS CSR is to empower people and communities to opportunities in the digital economy by creating equitable and inclusive pathways for women, the youth, and the marginalized. Now, what happens is when we identify a vision and a mission like that, and then also believe capital is just not money. There is the human capital, there is the technology capital, and the intellectual capital of the organization. So, the way to get that organized is, so when you give money to a program, get your employees also to join there as volunteers. Volunteering has graduated to being beyond fun activity. Now everybody is very serious about seeing true impact on what they are spending time for. And when you give a taste of that to them, and being a people-intensive company, we see it day in and day out. I have programs in Andamans, in Mizoram, in Arunachal, Manipur, delivered by TCS volunteers on the weekends, working with mentoring students, coaching students, and helping them. In fact, it is not just, of course it is fun, but then the end outcome is they join the industry post this mentoring and coaching. Right? So I think one needs to get involved. Writing the check is the easiest thing. But I think how do you get involved? Number one. Number two is, I spoke about these 5 impacts that we measure. Mental, beneficiaries. What is the shift on the mental space of the lady? Right? Mental is psychological. Her dignity, self-worth. I mean, you saw the lady who spoke now, mother-in-law, illiterate. Now she become literate. And the kind of confidence she has and the gumption with which she speaks now is very different. Second, we measure socio-cultural. How is the mother's dignity gone up in the family? Now she says, one mother says, my mother-in-law consults me for every decision now because I know how to calculate. Suppose this right. Third is economic, and fourth is mobility. Otherwise, if you don't know where the bus is going, you don't even know how to get into which bus. But when you know to read and write now, and so you can take. The last is leadership. So I think we need to also measure these impacts to get involved there, not just write the check, but get involved with your employees, with your own partners, and see how the impact is happening on everything that you have signed up for.
Thank you, Sunil. That was wonderful insight into CSR. Thank you so much for we are very happy to have you at our studio today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.